All right, guys, let's check out this Breitling Endurance. This is obviously a quartz model, as you can see the hands ticking. But before we get into the details and specs on this watch, I want to share with you what I'm wearing, because some people like to see that. So I am wearing my original orange SRP 309 Seiko Monster. I like orange. I think that's pretty obvious if you watch my channel. So when I reached out to Richard over at Saltzman's and I said, hey, what's the chances of you sending over that orange variant of the newer Breitling Endurance? He said, sure, I'll send it right over. There's a few different colorways. You can get this in blue, red, white, yellow, and of course orange. And all of them look crazy good depending on what color you prefer. I like the orange, so it works great. All right, before you get too in-depth into this video, these are a $3,000 watch. Yeah, I get it. It's $3,000. It's a lot of money. It's a Breitling, guys. They're gonna be more money. If this is not a Luminox Bear Grylls Survival Master 3749, which I bring that exact model up because it's kind of similar. Black case, orange strap, orange accents, even has the orange around the rubber around the crown. Very cool watch. I've actually had it on the channel. I was tempted to buy that one. The retail on that one's $890. And it is also a chronograph and everything. A little bit bigger, a little bit thicker and everything than this guy here. But if you like the orange colorway, like I do, and you have room for a chronograph quartz in your collection, but you don't want to spend $3,000, take a look at the Luminox Bear Grylls. That's actually a pretty sweet watch. I'll try to put a link to that video in my description. And also, both this Breitling and that Luminox are available from Richard at Saltzman's. So either way, you need to go check out Saltzman's. That's my point. All right, back to this watch. 45 millimeter case. Although the website says 44, and it maybe is, it's just hard to catch a very good measurement point. So it's like 44, 45. Let's not get too carried away with details there. About 52 lug to lug, thickness of 13, sapphire crystal with amazing AR coating, just like all, I mean, look at that hue. Boom. That is just beautiful AR coating. It should be on top and bottom. Like right now, it looks like there is no crystal. It looks like you could just reach in there and touch those hands. 22 millimeter lug width here, and that really cool Breitling labeled orange strap. Depending on what color you get, then you will have the corresponding colored strap. So you have 4 screws holding down the case back. You can see there is some information on the case back. The Endurance Pro. And you can see certified chronometer. This is a COSC quartz movement, super quartz, I should say. Signed crown. These are just regular pushers and a push-pull crown, 100-meter water resistance. But look at the details on that thing. This thing is just quality control perfection. Really nice satinized handset, as well as the 3, 6, 9, and even the applied B up top has some satin and polish finishes on there. That should be white gold up there as well. These are not. And then you'll have some real estate for lume on the other printed on indices, Arabics, whatever you want to call them. Date at the 430. And you have the multiple registers, obviously. I do have this thing running right now, but you can stop it and flip it back around. You can see on the inside there, this also has a pulsometer, 30 pulsation scale, all written down. This watch is basically intended for athletes that compete in Ironman triathlons or similar type activities. So you can check your pulse. You also have a rotating bezel that is your compass bezel, so you can maybe not get lost. I don't know. And it's just tough and lightweight. I measured at 65 grams. The website claims 64. Again, maybe my scale's off a little bit. I don't know. Let's see, what else did we cover? Price, $3,000. We talked about that. Battery life, 3 to 4 years is what they're claiming. And it should have an end-of-life battery indicator, I believe. The case is some sort of forged carbon. They call it the Bright Light Carbon, you know, like Breitling, lightweight. It's basically some sort of forged carbon material. So very, very smooth, very comfortable on wrist. Speaking of, let's pop it on wrist real quick. Now the movement on this They're claiming plus minus 10 seconds per year, guys, for a year. So once you set this, other than the date change, you are going to be good to go. Now, I'm not going to use the buckle here the way they want you to. I'm going to go over the top of it just because it is a new watch. So if you slide this down, now you can cheat and do this, but for ultimate security, you want to go underneath that part. So I'm just going to cheat a little bit and go over the top of it. So there you can see on my 7¼ inch wrist, yeah, it's a little bit bigger watch, 44 by 52, but because it only weighs 64, 65 grams and it has that really cool, comfortable strap, guys, it's like wearing a G-Shock or something, but a very, very high-end, you know, luxury type G-Shock is kind of what it reminds me of. Now, what movement is in this? This is, they're calling it the Breitling 82 caliber. So I geeked out a little bit. I looked up some different quartz options because Breitling probably doesn't make the movement, right? They're probably sourcing it. Well, there's two main sources when you're talking Swiss-made chronograph. Really, when you get into the super chronographs, there's really only one choice, and that's going to be an ETA line. Now, there's an older one. They claim this is like a newer model, so I'm not sure exactly, but if you search up ETA 251.264 or a 262, you're going to find a couple of, I think it's the 251.262 is actually the thermocompensated COSC super quartz, 27 joules. Go check out pictures. If I can find a link to that movement, I'll put a link in the description. But you can geek out on some of these crazy quartz movements because they have, like I said, 27 joules. They kind of orientate things. So even when you're looking at the movement, it's actually kind of fun to look at. It's not just a machine. It's actually got a little bit of artistic element to it. Like that Luminox I mentioned earlier, that's using a Ronda 5030, which is kind of like their version of this ETA style movement. So it's also going to have a bunch of jewels in it, and it's going to, I don't think, I could be wrong, I'm not sure if Ronda offers a COSC variant of it, whereas ETA does. Either way, the Ronda one's going to be less expensive. Once you get into the ETA super quartz movements, you're talking, they're like $150. So, you know, which, in case you don't know, that's a lot of money for a quartz movement, and it's because the supply and demand and what they have to do to build it and everything, it's just way more involved, and it's way more exclusive as far as what watches it ends up in. Anyway, I babbled on enough about the movement, but that is important. I mean, because when you're spending $3,000, you kind of want to know what is inside this thing, right? So you do have a pretty cool quartz movement. It's not just, you know, some run-of-the-mill type quartz movement. It's designated for this watch. All right, let's kill the lights and check out some lume. It does have lume. I don't think it's crazy bright or anything, but it's plenty sufficient. Obviously, you have it on the hour, minute, and then you have it on the printed interrupted Arabics, and then the little dots all the way around, and then, of course, the triangle up top. And I know it's not focusing because it's trying to focus on other lume stuff. There you go. There's a little bit of focus. So you can see there's lume. It's bright enough. It works. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Big thanks to Richard over at Saltzman's. Tell him I sent you.